for inviting me to deliver this talk. Regarding the topic that I've been given, that I think that Shudipta has some concerns regarding the dosing that is being currently recommended for our enzyme replacement therapy in the pancreas, and I will be discussing about how this we came to this dose and how we have why do we need this dose. Already some of this slides has been covered by my previous speaker, and so I did too. The human pancreatic lipase is one of the predominant enzymes that is involved in the fat digestion in humans, and it is, though not exclusive, it is predominant. And the most important stimulus for its secretion is entry of nutrients into the duodenum. As you can see that there is an increased output of the lipase in the initial 30 minutes, and this persists in a higher level for around 4 hours. So whatever exogenous enzymes we need to give, we need to ensure that we achieve a sufficient level of the enzymes in the duodenal lumen for around 4 hours duration. Not only the lipase content, but it is also the pH of the duodenum, the bile acid content, which is again released by the entry of the nutrients, the fat digestibility, and of course the gastric lipase that are also important in this. In patients with chronic pancreatitis, there is definitely a severe reduction of output of these enzymes, especially in those who have clinical steatorrhea, clinical and as well as biochemical steatorrhea, but not in those who have no steatorrhea. And one of the seminal studies done 50 years ago has shown that in 17 patients done by D. Magno in 17 patients with alcoholic chronic pancreatitis, he showed that steatorrhea occurred only in those patients whose intraduodenal lipase output was less than 10% of healthy controls, and thus that it gave rise to this concept of pancreatic reserve. That is, you need more than 90% of the gland to be destroyed to have clinical steatorrhea. And this was also more or less confirmed in another study done in Europe across the Atlantic, which showed that almost 86% of those who had steatorrhea had a pancreatic lipase output that was less than 10% of normal, but it was not absolute. Enzyme replacement therapy was a therapeutic agent that was used to replace these enzymes in patients with chronic pancreatitis, and multiple randomized controlled trials have shown that it is effective in reducing steatorrhea and improving the coefficient of fat absorptions, although I would like to point out that there is a significant degree of heterogeneity in the studies. So, provided that we have to postprandially all the nutrients are entering the duodenum for around 4 hours, and we are achieving at least half of that 10% of that physiological dose of lipase in the duodenum. It is calculated that you need around 24,000 to 48,000 units of exogenous lipase to administered with meals to prevent steatorrhea. And that is reflected in the number of guidelines that has been published recently, where the average dose of exogenous lipase with the major meal is around 40 to 50,000 units per meal, and with a half a dose for snacks. If you look at critically at the recent randomized trials on which these guidelines and this meta-analysis was being, you will find that as time that there has been a progressive increase in the amount of dosage that has been administered with the meals in this with these trials. And two important things is that we are giving quite a very high dose of exogenous lipase. And another important thing is that the daily fat intake of all those individuals who participated in the study, or the patients in the study, was around 70 to 100 grams, which is quite a high dose, which is common in the Western population, but might not reflect the Indian populations. Because Indians do have a lower fat intake, and this is, I researched the literature, and I found that there were three cross-sectional studies that look at CP patients, that's chronic pancreatitis patients specifically, Indian patients. And if you look at the amount of daily fat intake, it is around 30 to 50 gram per day in males and around 25 to 35 grams per day in females. And this is also reflected in the general populations. I mean, the two studies which has been done from South Indian urban and rural populations, and here also the range of fat intake in males was around 30 to 50 per day, and for females it was 20 to 40 per day, which is almost half of that of the Western diet. And even the ICMR guidelines recommends that the amount of fat intake which is recommended in Indians is around 30 to 40 grams per day. Not only that, the high dose of PERT does introduce cost burden on patients in Indians, and this is a dot plot of around 124 patients. Their monthly income from my center, which is part of a multi-center study looking at socioeconomic status of chronic pancreatitis patients, and the white line reflects the average income per month. And even if they're advised the recommended dose of enzymes with each major mean only per day, over a month, their expenses for even the cheapest of the enzyme preparation that is available in India would be 6 times their average income, and the average, the mean cost would be of around 10 times the average income. And this is reflected by a small study which is published in our center that showed that the Indian patients of stable chronic pancreatitis, which are not having much pain but having some degree of PERT supplementation, though not in the doses that are recommended, do have a catastrophic healthcare expenditure. So that led to the question is that in acute pancreatitis, chronic pancreatitis, does lower doses of PERT compared with higher doses affect steatorrhea? After a literature search using this keywords, 168 studies were screened and 4 were found to be eligible, of which 3 were randomized controlled trials. And if you look at it, this is a bit of a busy slide, but if you look at this, the 3 randomized trials, one of the first one that is of the top was of only 6 patients. It was a lower quality study. It was a single-blinded randomized trial, where the other ones had involved 16 to 72 patients, and it was more of a better quality studies. All of them, the daily fat dosage was between 60 to 100 grams per day. And when they were compared, if you look at when the lower dose of PERT was compared with placebo or no drug, it was effective. It was statistically significantly improved coefficient of fat absorption and reduced fecal fat excretion, as well as the higher dose also did that. However, between the two lower and higher doses, there was no statistically significant difference in the improvement of steatorrhea, and that's led us to do a meta-analysis, because there are at least 2 studies of a random effect models, and we found that the first figure, the topmost figure, it is the coefficient of fat absorption, which is the mean difference between the low and higher dose is not statistically significant difference, and there was minimal heterogeneity in this trial, trial data. Whereas if you look at 72 hours fecal fat injection, there was also again no mean difference between the lower and higher doses, although there was a significant degree of heterogeneity. So I would like to have 2 important conclusions. The ideal dosage recommended is actually 25 to 40,000 units of exogenous lactase per meal, depending on the size of meals. However, in Indians, the lower fat intake of 30 to 40 grams per day, a lower dosage might be with the major meal can also be considered. With that, I would like to thank the organizers, and I would like to end my talk and take any questions if you have.